Fernandes hauls, City lose, but is it time to bring in their assets? My name's Conor, this is Nacho, looking lovely by the way mate.
And you mate?
Try my best. And this is another episode of the FPL Fan Show. What have we got today then, Nacho?
Well, it's been another eventful game week, and as usual, we have a lot to get through this show. We're going to be discussing if Man City are ever going to get out of third gear. Is it time for a Vardy party? And of course, our captaincy challenge, which I am always looking forward to, mate. So let's get this show started with this week's hot topics.
First hot topic. Man City assets. Do we still bring them in? Nacho, give me your thoughts.
This is such a tough one right now because we are so used to Man City just tearing up the Premier League, aren't we? And even if they don't win, they are value for goals. And honestly, right now, it is so tough to put your finger on whether Man City are broken or they're just going through a bad phase in front of goal. Yeah, mate, what are your thoughts here right now on them? Because right now, I'm really struggling to think whether they're missing something in this team.
It's a really, really hard question. I think they are missing something from the team. I think, you know, when you take out Leroy Sané, I think David Silva is a massive miss. I think when you take out those two players, they don't look the same team to me. They look like the team, you know, when Guardiola first came and took over. They're just not quite clicking. And I have to be honest, they just don't look as good attacking-wise. Yeah, that said, we do know their attacking potential. And I think if we look at the players in particular, I think Kevin De Bruyne still looks a pretty good option. Yeah. And I think over the last couple of games, obviously we had the missed penalty a few weeks back, and I think he still looked good at the weekend. I think he's the one player who I think can explode, but I think we've got to manage our expectations and know they're probably not quite the City of old, but they're still good value. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think right now they have some excellent fixtures. So you look at the next two, Burnley and Fulham at home. You could not be asking really for two better fixtures. Like against Burnley, they are always good value. So yeah, I really do think that if you are looking at Man City assets, do not be fazed by the current form because these fixtures coming up, especially against Fulham, are just there for the taking. And funny enough, although De Bruyne I think is a better option over the long term, these games have got a sterling haul in them, I think, mate.
You're just saying that because you got him in your team.
I'm a Sterling owner.
Yeah, I think De Bruyne is the same form. But Sterling's not a bad shout. I mean, I still own Foden, and he is doing my absolute head in. It's a nightmare. Yeah. But anyway, we'll come to that in our team video later. But yeah, I think on the City assets attacking-wise, I think De Bruyne is a good option. Sterling not bad at all. I think in terms of defensive options, what's your take on the kind of Diaz versus Cancelo route?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, this is the first season in a long time where Man City have offered really good value defensively. Now, that's coming after conceding 2 goals against Spurs. But I still think Diaz and Cancelo at 5.5 million are really, really good options. Right now, I think if you were looking at a long-term option, I think for safety, Diaz is probably the pick just because of that rotation with Cancelo. I've spoken to a few people who think that in a few occasions he might favour the left foot of Zinchenko or Mendy when he returns. I think there's no doubt that Cancelo has got the highest ceiling, but I think if you want that kind of guaranteed minutes in the team, then Diaz is a good option. And set pieces as well, looks a good threat.
I'll tell you what, naturally, you may be a robot, but you still speak some sense now and again. So well done, mate. But yeah, no, I agree. I actually really like Cancelo. I think he's looking so attacking over the last few game weeks. And you're right, he is a bit of a risk rotation-wise, and perhaps that's maybe why you do go for Diaz. And the thing with Diaz is he has got that kind of potential from set pieces. I think he's going to get a headed goal soon. So they're both good options, and I think one is definitely value over the next few weeks.
Yeah. Okay, second hot topic, and that is it time for the Vardy party? So just to recap, Conor, on the fixtures coming up, they have Fulham at home in game week 10, Sheffield United away game week 11, and then Brighton at home, followed by, you know, mate, I'm going to have to say Everton at home, who have been conceding a few goals. And if you're conceding goals against Fulham, then you're asking for trouble.
Did you really have to add that in? Like, of all the teams you said, did you really have to put that in there?
As I mentioned, if you're conceding 2 goals against a Fulham side, then you're ready for the abuse.
Look, Chelsea have like kept a few clean sheets and he's given it the big one like every week now. Right. Yeah, you should. You should. To answer your question, is it time to jump on the Vardy party? I don't know if it is. I think short term, yeah, Fulham is a fantastic fixture, and I'm sure he may get a goal, maybe even a brace. I mean, they don't look very good defensively. I don't think we can argue with that. I think the issue is if you're looking at 4 fixtures, it's really tricky. I think Sheffield United, particularly quite good defensively, and Everton and Brighton, one day they could be amazing. Yes, another day they can be awful, but we don't really know what we're getting there. So I think it's a really tricky one with Vardy. I think for me personally, I might stay away, but I can see the appeal of people who want a kind of short-term option. What's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think it's a really tricky one right now. So firstly, no bones about it. Game week 10 at home to Fulham has really, really good potential to be a massive haul for Vardy there. And those who are looking at a differential captain, then Vardy could be the man. And I say differential because game week 10, you have Man City at home to Burnley, and then you've got Liverpool away at Brighton. So automatically there, you've got players who are excellent captaincy options. And then looking at game week 11, as we mentioned, Sheffield United they're losing, but they're not losing by 3-4 goals. Bruyne at home, obviously, great option there. And Everton, as you mentioned, hit and miss. I think the big one is who are you selling to get to Vardy? If you're selling Harry Kane, can you really bring yourself to do that right now with the form he's in? So, yeah, I think it's really a case of where is Vardy sitting in your team structure? Because I don't think it's worth breaking your team structure to bring him in, just because the captaincy options especially are still so good in other premium players like Salah, Sterling, KDB.
I agree, Nacho. Final topic, Nacho. Spurs assets. What the hell do we do?
Mate, this is such a tough one. So I had double Spurs, sold Son, and own Kane right now. And I really do think that there's a lot of people out there with double Spurs right now. And I think there is still a case to hold them to, because it's really the classic FPL debate, form versus fixtures. And a lot of people argue that, when the fixtures turn, you should really look to sell. The problem is when Son and Kane are the two guys who are contributing the most towards Spurs' points and they're top of the league, it's so hard to sell the two best players in the team. I think it really is a case of what kind of way you play FPL. Do you look at formal fixtures? And I think right now, if they're continuing to return, you shouldn't be put off by the fixture coming up. And that's especially against a team like Chelsea, who have a good defensive record, but Spurs have decent hauls against them in the past. And then Arsenal side at home, who, geez, God, they're not looking good right now, are they, mate?
No, they're not. This has got to be one of the hardest decisions and topics I think we faced all season. You were saying about, Son and Kane owners. Well, you're talking to one right here, mate. I kept Kane and Son.
That's true, yeah. Oh, you're the perfect guy. Come on.
I know.
Give the FPL juice to the listeners.
Well, that's it. That's exactly it. It's so hard, this is, because it does come down to form versus fixtures. I think the thing with Kane and Son, the price they're at, they just provide such excellent value. And importantly, they're providing consistency. I think Son, I know you sold him, and I don't mean to rub it in, but I think actually Son especially is really well suited to these next few games. I think all these teams are going to have to attack Spurs a little bit, and that leaves them open, to the counter-attack, which I think Son is just fantastic at. He can run behind the defence and finish, and he's practically a striker. So I think on Son, I feel like I'd be less inclined to sell him right now because of the value he provides. I think Kane is where it gets a little bit more interesting. I think Kane, he's so consistent and he's providing so many assists that you could make an argument that there's, forwards who are cheaper and providing perhaps better value. I think even like Timo Werner over the last 5 games has actually got more points than Kane. So although Kane is ticking over, he's not getting any big hauls, and he hasn't for about 4 games now. So I'm sort of the opinion that I kind of feel like I can sell Kane, but I'm tempted to keep Son. What do you think?
I can see your points there, definitely. And I think the big thing about Son is that the midfielders are such a big topic right now in FPL. I do think, although I agree that Son is suited to the fixtures, if you are currently sat there without a Man City asset with this run coming up, I do think that the likes of Sterling or KDB will outscore Son in the coming 5 or 6 game weeks. So I think if you have the money in the bank and you do own both Son and Kane, then a Son move up to the likes of Sterling and KDB could prove beneficial in the long term.
Back off, start of the week.
It's start of the week time. Nacho, Give it to me.
Well, mate, I've had Bakar personally deliver the stat of the week to me here, but I thought it's an opportunity for you to read the stat this week. So I'm going to pass this over to you, mate. So be ready, you okay?
I'm ready. Hit me, mate. Give it to me.
Okay, here we go, buddy. Here it comes.
Okay. Very nice, mate. Okay, you ready for this? It is COVID safe, by the way, before anyone starts panicking.
Yes.
Don't want that. Okay. So Calvert-Lewin and Bamford are top for big chances from open play this season. So both are providing excellent value. And what's really interesting, mate, is that Bamford is he's basically doing well despite the opposition. So even when he's playing the really difficult teams, he's still posting really good stats. And interestingly, he scores away, not at home. And they've got 2 away fixtures coming. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, no, that's some good stats, mate. Well done, mate.
Well, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy what you do. Just read a card out.
Hey, don't tell people that. It's just a look. But anyway, we digress. With honestly, Bamford is the man that got away from me, and Calvert-Lewin. I can't believe I haven't sat with these two. I'm a guilty FPL manager, but Bamford is offering some serious value. And I think the big thing about it is that when you watch this Leeds side, they're so entertaining to watch. And as you mentioned, they look like they can score against anybody. And that, for a guy of Bamford's value, it is just ticking all the boxes. And his stats especially are so good that I think he is the sort of player that you need to bring on your side. And as you mentioned, it's crazy to say, but it's almost like they are fixture proof. So it's a really good option. But Calvert-Lewin, that's the man who got away for me.
I still can't believe you don't own Calvert-Lewin. Call yourself a fantasy football manager. Don't bring in the best value player in the league. I mean, what is that about? Muppet.
But I think we're going to agree here that Bamford is still an excellent option. So thank you very much, Bakar, for that stat. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to follow on social media. Provide some excellent content.
Next up on the show, Nacho, it's Correct Captain.
Correct Captain.
It's Correct Captain, the part of the show where we have to pick the correct captain for the upcoming game week. It's currently 5-2 to me, as I picked Fernandes last week and Nacho picked Rashford. Now, as you know, we can't pick the same player, so to decide who goes first, we have to do a challenge. What is this week's challenge, Nacho?
Wow, Conor, I need a challenge this week that I'm going to win and get myself back on the board. So this is commonly known as 20 questions. So Conor and I are going to have 3 rounds, and it's going to be first person to guess their player wins that round, best of 3. So, mate, I'm feeling good this round, but I always say that every week and I always lose. So let's hope the tide changes this week. And I'm going to be generous again and let you start off.
Are you taping that whole thing around my head? I hope you can see it. Okay. Question 1. Do I play in the Premier League currently?
No. Question 8. Was I left-footed?
I think so. I might be wrong, but I think so. This is so hard.
Question 13. Now, I'm going to take a punt, mate, and I'm going to hopefully go against your left-footed dubious claim. Am I Joe Cole?
You are correct.
Yes.
Was he right-footed?
He's right-footed, yeah, definitely. But 2-footed player, and yeah, so I'm so happy.
Well done, Nacho. Well, that was painful.
1-0.
1-0.
So, round 2, I'm going to kick this one off, mate. So, Question 1. Am I still playing in the Premier League?
No, you are not. Question 6. Did I ever play for a team in blue?
Yes, mainly all-time blue. Question 7. Did I play for a team in the top 6?
You played for a team that is sort of what you call currently in the top 6, but maybe... Oh, no, you probably were actually at that time. Yeah, you probably were at that time, yes.
Not Everton, then.
That is such a bad dig. I'll have you know you finished in the Champions League 1 season back then.
No, sorry, hang on, I don't know what I'm fucking saying. Oh my god, it's so hard. Hang on. Yeah. Question 12. Did I have a outstanding attribute?
I'd say heading, but you are actually quite good with your feet as well.
That's some foot fetish, you are.
Only yours, Nacho. Okay. Question 13. Was I David Silva?
You were David Silva.
Yes! Got one back! Get in there!
That's good. Very well played.
Felt
Very
good.
well played.
Thanks, mate. Woohoo! Do you want to know who you were?
Yeah, who the hell was I?
You were very tall and you do a podcast currently.
Crouch.
And you look like him.
Oh, no.
Muppet. Final deciding round, Nacho. Let's do it.
Bring it.
Question 1. Do I still play in the Premier League?
Yes, you do.
Oh.
Question 9. Have I been involved in a big money transfer?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it big money, but it was reasonable and to a good team.
And to a good team, okay.
Question 10. Do I play for that crappy team, Chelsea?
I'm going to rephrase that question. Does this player play for the best team in London? Incorrect. No, he doesn't play for Chelsea. Just getting your facts straight there, mate.
Okay.
Question 12. Do I play for a London-based team?
You used to a while ago, and then you moved to a really fantastic club, actually probably one of the best, and then you moved again this season on loan to a team that plays in red.
Right, okay.
Question 14. Am I Kyle Walker?
You are Kyle Walker.
Yes! I've won a challenge! Finally! It's been so long.
No,
I'm so happy.
You go well. I need to know, who am I? Am I Theo Walcott?
You are Theo Walcott. You were one away. Cal, when I said he played for like the most fantastic and best club, how did you not get that as Everton?
That's what threw me off the bloody paper chain. Oh, damn. Threw me a curveball there, but congratulations, mate.
Thanks,
Winner
mate.
of this captaincy challenge. I've got to ask you, who are you picking?
Okay, so my pick for captain this week. I really like Kevin De Bruyne, and I'm on the fence, but I'm going to go with Jamie Vardy just because Fulham are so poor defensively on penalties, and I fancy them to kind of come back after that shock against Liverpool. Who are you going for?
Yeah, I like the Vardy pick. As we mentioned, I think he could be a really good differential captain. So I'm going to go for the man returning from COVID. It's going to be Mo Salah. I think he's going to have a field day away at Brighton. After seeing them defensively, I think there's a real good opportunity. And seeing that Liverpool team against Leicester, they're still so good. So Mo Salah is going to take the captaincy for me.
I like that pick. Happy to own him, have to say. So that wraps up another episode. That was a really good one, mate. That was a hard one, but good.
It was good, mate. Good. And it's always good when you win a challenge, of course.
Oh, just so relieved. So relieved. I've still got this ridiculous thing on my bloody head, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I'll just take it off. Ow. But anyway, so thank you for watching as ever. And what's the magic words, Cal?
Magic words? What, yeah. Chelsea the best?
You're smoking something, mate.
Of course. Guys, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to like, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes.
Sorry, he's just laughing off screen. I'm trying to keep going. Jesus God. What's he put on my head? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.